Today I'm going to be doing these headlight lenses on the Viper. If you look close, well, it didn't take much looking close, it's all these hairline cracks in these lenses. And the problem is you can try to polish these out, but it never seems to work. So really your best alternative is just to replace the lenses. The only problem is these headlights are incredibly expensive on the SRT10 Vipers. If you want to buy a good new old stock headlight, you're looking at $3,000 or $4,000. Luckily, Viper Outlaw remakes these lenses now, and they have them for a very fair price. This is the set of blemish lenses I ordered from Viper Outlaw. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera. You probably won't. But if you look very closely, ignore the hair, I'll get that off. There are actually little tiny air bubbles in there, and I ordered them that way deliberately. I don't think he has any more of these. He actually was out of the perfect ones, so I got these blemished ones instead, and they look absolutely fantastic. Yeah, they look really, really good. First thing you're going to want to do, take all your lug nuts, crack them loose, floor jack under each side. That's the easiest way to jack it up, really. We're going to lift the car on the ground because, as far as I'm aware, got to take this wheel off to be able to take the headlight out, but we'll see in a minute. After you get the wheel off, you've got some 7 and 10 millimeter bolts you got to remove. I've seen a lot of debate from people as to what the best way to remove this is, but you got 1, 2, and then up there's a 3rd mounting bolt. And if you look under here, while you don't have the best access, obviously, you can get to 1 right there in the center of the screen, and then 2, the farthest and hardest one to get back, you have to get an extension and get to it from here, and 3, that's your easiest one. It's right there. Really, to me, this is your best way to get the bolts out. You could remove the skid plate or whatever, but to me, this is your easiest route. Just get a weird extension and you can shove your hand in there just right. For the hardest to get to one, which is that far back one right there, I'm just using a 10 millimeter deep socket, snaking it around this modulator. And then if you look, sorry, the light moved. You can see my socket peeking out right there in that gap. I'm just gonna get it onto the head right there. Extension, 10 millimeter socket, and I got a little stubby extension right there. Gonna kind of stick this thing in here like so, and then I can kind of aim it with that groove. There's a groove right there. And after a little bit of fighting and turning by hand, there it is. For this one, I'm just using a wobble socket, and there it is, just cracking right off, man. Look at that. Here was the setup, wobble socket, 10 millimeter, got it off. Same wobble socket, same 10 millimeter, getting the... Now that you've gotten everything under the car loose, you'll want to remove 3 or 4 of these bolts so you can get some flex in the fender. Also, you'll have a bolt right here and a bolt right here. It's 10 millimeters, got a nut on the back side. Remove those as well. Now that you've gotten all these bolts loose, everything's good. Shouldn't have any problem just starting to slide the assembly out. Push up on this lightly and kind of wiggle. Yeah. But before you properly remove the headlight, you got 1, 2, 3 10 millimeter bolts. So go ahead and take this off. You may have to get on a screwdriver or something. You'll have all this apparatus going on. Remove your bulb, which is right here. Like that. Remove your low beam bulb. Be very careful with it. It's delicate. Turn signal. Then your marker light. And there it is. Now you should be clear to slide this whole assembly out, just like that. And now your headlight assembly's out. I'm doing the passenger side now. Only thing I wanted to tell you about it was that these are actually easier to access on the passenger side. You have more room, but otherwise it's exactly the same process. Now that I've got it out, first thing I'm gonna do is remove these T15 torque screws that are holding this little rubber gasket in. And what you're gonna wanna do is extremely carefully peel this gasket off, because the problem is they don't make this gasket. There is no alternative at all. So you have to take care of the ones that you've got. It has these little hooks on there. Pull on those very gently, kind of eject them. I'm just kind of lightly wiggling on it. Some on the bottom as well. You can see. A few more. There. Over here. Now, you just kind of gently work with it. Over there? No. Kind of gently work with it. You'll eventually get it to break loose. Just be very careful. Don't tear or rip this thing at all. And there we go. There's our rubber gasket. Set that right there for now. After you get them removed, just wipe them down a little bit so it won't stink in the oven. You can see, look at all that hazing and all that, those scratches. Look at that. It's really bad. Yeah, they're in pretty rough condition. Now what you're going to want to do, get your oven preheated to 280 degrees, and then we're going to put the headlight in there for about 15 minutes. I adjusted the shelf so it's down a little further. It's not too close to the heating element. I'm just going to get it centered in there. Then I'm going to set the timer. Got the work area prepared. I got a metal tray under this just so it doesn't burn my countertop because it's wood. Got all my screwdrivers. I got a knife as well with a new blade. And I got some gloves to take it out of the oven with. Another thing I suggest is get a heat gun or blow dryer and just have it on standby, plugged in and ready. If you have a spot that's being kind of tough, you can lightly heat it up and that'll help soften it and release the lens. Okay, here it is, fresh out of the oven. Now I'm going to use this large screwdriver. I got a glove on as well. I'm just going to kind of lightly begin prying on it. Wherever I can get on it, I may have to get the small screwdriver first. The biggest challenge is getting the lens started. So what I ended up having to do is just kind of work it with the large and small flathead, as you can see me do in the video. And I had to do it at different angles and different spots. Even after heating the glue, it's still very, very tough. Apparently it's an epoxy, like a 3M or a two-part 3M epoxy. So it's extremely difficult to get off, even when heated. But as you can see, after working with it, I'm starting to get it to kind of release just a little bit. But you'll just have to keep repeating and walking and moving down the lens. You can see it's starting to eject in one spot now. I found that using two screwdrivers really helped. Use the smaller one to get it started, then get the larger one in there, and you're able to get it further separated from the housing with the larger one. And just kind of walk that crack all the way around it. Like I said, it takes a while. This took me maybe 15 minutes. I thought I was going to have to reheat it, but I was able to get it in one go. The other headlight turned out about the same. It was, roughly 15-20 minutes, and it was just the same process, getting it started and then following the crack all the way down the perimeter of the lens. Like I said, primarily using these two screwdrivers, and it turned out pretty well, actually. And as you can see, once I get near the end, I just kind of transition to pulling on it with my hand right in a second here, and then the lens will just eject off. So it wasn't too bad a job, but it definitely takes patience. I reheated the headlight, and now I'm going to kind of scrape on this. I just put it in there 5 minutes at the same 285 degrees. And what we're doing now is we're just trying to get all this gasket material, little bit of stuff in here, see? We're just trying to get it out of there. It's pretty tough, so get ready for a fight. It's a very slow process to remove all this adhesive. It took quite a while. I had to reheat the headlight a few times with the hot air gun, as you'll see in the video. And that was necessary to get this stuff to soften up because it's extremely tough to pry off once it cools down. Removing all the leftover adhesive was really the longest process. It took maybe 45 minutes, the headlight. It took a very long time. I shortened the footage quite a bit. After much struggling with the heat gun, I managed to get all of the gasket material out. Now I'm gonna come through here with a compressor, air compressor, and just blast this groove out, blast the lens out, or the headlight assembly, make sure there's no little chunks left in here, shake it around a bunch. But I think we got pretty much all of the material out. I will go over this one more time just to make sure. Now before we go further, I'm going to test fit these lenses to make sure they work properly. And you can see that one goes on there very nicely. And let's try the driver's side headlight. This one actually has some whites. Not quite exact, but I think it'll work just fine. There you go. It's got a little tension on it, but it does fit quite nicely. As you can see, no major gaps or anything. Just a really good fit. Really good quality product there. Before I glue these on, there are a couple of things I want to do. If you look at this turn signal ring here, these are actually prone to falling out. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to prevent this from falling out, because it'll actually just eject and jiggle around in the lens here. In order to get to the turn signal lenses, you have to remove this decorative fascia on the front of the headlights. So you'll remove these two Torx screws on the back side, and then you'll just kind of wiggle on it. Now, it has some epoxy holding it on, so you'll have to heat it up a little bit. I'm using the heat gun. Then you wiggle it and it'll come off. Then you'll want to remove all the epoxy out of the groove. You'll either need to use a flathead or a pick tool and just heat it up and it'll come right out. These are the tabs I was talking about earlier in the video, and what I'm going to do to prevent them from ejecting is use this JB Weld plastic bonder. I'm just going to put it all the way around these tabs. Make sure you get an even coat, especially on the low beam tab, because you can actually see it from outside the vehicle, so make sure you get an even coat of it on there. This bottom one in particular that I'm doing right now. But as for the rest of them, you won't see it from outside the vehicle, so it doesn't really matter. Just mixing it up, kind of applying it and getting it all on there, getting a good coat, and letting it dry for, I believe, 24 hours is the cure time on it. This is probably unnecessary, but in addition to the epoxy, I decided to use this 20 gauge, what they're calling hobby wire. And what I'm going to do is use this old crappy drill bit, heat it up with a torch, and then melt the holes so I'm not stressing it or risking breaking it with a drill. And I'm going to do that on each one of these tabs. Just kind of heat it up, push the drill bit through, and that'll just give it a nice clean hole that I can run the wire through. After melting all the holes, I just took a razor and took all the flashing off, and then I just cut a piece of the wire, looped it through, and then just twisted it together with the clines, and then got a nice good twist on it. And then I just cut the excess off and kind of fold it out of the way so you won't see it. Like I said, it's probably unnecessary, but I really don't want to be taking this thing apart ever again. So this will just make sure that in addition to the epoxy, have something else mechanically securing it in place. One very important thing to note is that if you're planning on using the wire like I'm doing, that you only use it on this outer turn signal lens, because if you attempt to use it on the inner lens, you'll melt a hole through the outside fascia and you will be able to see it, and it'll mess up your housing. So as you can see, I got a nice finish on this. The lens is really well planted in there. It doesn't move or shake or jiggle at all, which it was loose before I did this. But as you can see, that worked out really well, and you can't see it at all from the outside. But the low beams, if you attempted to do these tabs and melt a hole in it, you would see it from the outside. So again, you do not want to do those, only the turn signal lens. Okay, after doing all the work with those wire ties you saw me do, audio didn't work, I'll have to add a voiceover later, but anyway, got this set up, got the assembly back in, put the screws back in the back here. Now if you'll notice, let me pull this lens off really carefully because I've already cleaned it very thoroughly. You'll notice right here there's this standoff. You want to get the adhesive out of there because you'll have some in those little spots there. And what you're going to do is put some extra adhesive or silicone under that. Then you're going to put this on there. Now this is what we're going to be using. It was recommended to me by guys at Viper Outlaw. Oracle Adhesives Premium Headlight Sealant. So we're going to be using this. Going to be running a bead all the way around this groove and then behind those standoffs. To make sure everything lines up and looks pretty good, which mine does. If I get it grooved in there right, it fits very, very nicely. But as you can see, the headlight's looking really, really nice. Looking absolutely perfect. I also got the workbench area cleaned up, sort of. I got all the dust off, so that's what really matters. So now I'm going to set this over here in a safe area where it won't get any dust or anything on it. We're going to cut the tip off the tube. We're going to start applying adhesive. Pay special attention to this spot where the lens is right here. no, I didn't clean up the jagged edges. It's fine, whatever. Now I gotta secure this lens here with some tape. This is the other side headlight. I'll just put a big fat bead on this one. Just get it to where it's built up a little proud of the groove, because otherwise you won't have quite enough silicone. Now I have very thoroughly cleaned this lens, so we are ready to install. Now I've got quite a bit of excess here, so it's gonna smash out pretty good. I did put some silicone under those tabs like I was talking about here. So now we're going to line everything up like so. Kind of just start looking really good on there. Awesome. Now, one thing they want you to do is use a clamp on this according to their instructions. But the problem I have with that is I'm afraid the clamp, whatever clamp I use, would scratch the surface of the lens, even with a rag possibly. So what I'm going to do is there's these tabs that are used to locate the gasket. I'm going to use the trusty wire that I was using earlier, and I'm going to make a little tab or a hook here so I can just kind of pull some tension into it that way. Now up here I am using a clamp just from here to there, and that way it'll pull tension in the top there, but it isn't on the actual lens that matters, so it won't hurt anything. Okay, they are looking really, really good now. I've got them taped in certain tactical spots, got them clamped in tactical spots. I also used some of this copper wire like I was showing you to tie down the ends that were acting bad. That's where the gasket actually mounts, but I think it worked really well. Got them laying nice and flat, so I'm gonna let these cure for 24 hours and then we'll see how they look after that. It's been over 24 hours now, and after letting the headlights cure, I just reinstalled this gasket, which is simply just hooking it on those tabs that I showed you earlier in the video, and then just reinstalled the headlight, just reverse of removal, and they look fantastic. It's really amazing how much of a difference this has made to the front of the vehicle. I mean, just look at those headlights. They look absolutely immaculate. It's one of those things, you get used to them looking a certain way, and then they just don't notice them, but man, when you see them when they're perfect, it's just incredible. I mean, look at that. No more hazing, no more cracking. It's awesome. And all at a very reasonable price. I mean, like I said, $4 grand for a new old stock headlight. That's ridiculous. You could buy a used car for that. Hell, you could buy 2 used cars for that. Thank you to David with Viper Specialties and Ryan for giving me all the advice. I had many, many questions, and they answered all of them, which made this process a whole lot easier, as I didn't have to guess or figure it out on my own. They made a huge difference, and David makes a great product. I hope this video was helpful to you. I hadn't seen any other videos on removing these headlights and doing the full process of the lens installation, so hopefully this will help someone do their headlight lenses. It really isn't too bad of a job. It really only took me, I don't know, maybe 4 hours or 5 hours total. Most of it was just waiting for adhesives to cure, honestly. I am still considering putting a PPF film on the headlights. He did say he doesn't recommend using a ceramic coating, as he's not positive on the chemical compatibility with his lenses. But the PPF is still something I'm considering doing in the future, but as of now, I just put a coat of wax on them and we'll call it good for the moment. So if you're wanting to do this to your Viper, don't be scared of it. It's really not that big a deal. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.